Okay, do you know where I keep losing games? End games. A lot of times I'm losing end games, and I used to think it was my end game technique, but I looked at my games, and a lot of times the problem isn't the end games. It's what I did 20 moves earlier to put me in the position that I end the game in. I push pawns a lot of times without thinking, or I'm not protecting pawns, and so I'm down pawns. I create double pawns. I leave myself with a weak isolated pawns that I can't defend, and so by the time we reach the end game, I've already lost in the middle game. And so today I have one rule before I push any pawn, because once you push a pawn, you can't bring it back. I'm asking, what does this do for my end game? Can I live with this structure 20 moves in? And if the answer is no, I am not going to push. So it's also really, really windy behind me. So, all right, I'm going to be playing the English opening. And that is the opening that is English. Um, this is a pretty new opening for me, and I've played it maybe just only a handful of times. And the idea is, to try to control all of these light squares. So, um, now I do want to watch for any weird tactics that he could do, like a little reverse. What's that called? Okay, little English opening versus reversed Sicilian situation here. Um, I am just going to castle. And now before I do that, I actually might play this move. Because, or even better yet, this move. And I know that technically blocks in my bishop, but I'm doing that so that if I move here, he can't bring his pawn to attack my knight. So it seems like a logical move to me. So I'm going to make it. One of my next moves is actually going to be to push my pawn and to castle. All right, so I already said I'm going to watch for my pawns. I'm going to pay attention. Right now, this pawn is unprotected. This pawn is unprotected. So the simple solve is I push this pawn. That also allows me to get my bishop onto this diagonal. And so that's what I'm going to do. What's this? A very loud siren going by. Massive storms today. And I'm just in here playing chess. Yeah. What was I saying? All right, I feel like maybe at some point. Oh, it is my move. He moved. I missed it. I was so distracted. All right, so I got to pay attention. What is he doing with this move? Probably something so that he can move here, so that he can attack this pawn, or maybe this so that he can create the pin. Either way, let's first address the pawns, and then if he ends up putting his piece, okay. So now I do think he's thinking about maybe something like this, so that he could take, and then when I take, he takes, I take. I'm still not worried about that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and castle. And now, in typical fashion, what I feel like drawn to play is a knight like this, because it puts my knight in a really nice position. But what it does then is it weakens some of these pawns, because now I'm not guarding this pawn. He could just literally kick me out, and then I'm just kind of stuck, So I don't really know that that's like the best move for me. So I'm just gonna try this first to kick out his bishop, and if he moves here, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I could push this pawn. Is this a good move? If I push the pawn, he has to come up here. He's not trapped though, but his pawn would be in pretty rough shape. I mean, just truthfully. And right now, this pawn isn't technically doing anything, so I could do that. The real question is, should I do that? And I don't know. So maybe I'm not going to do that just yet. I really want to get this guy out of here, but first, all right, let's think about this. If I go here and then he takes, and then I take, and then he takes. I mean, I could take back. So this can potentially be okay. The reason I don't want to put my bishop here is because the second, well, actually, I guess that wouldn't have been a terrible move. I was just gonna say, okay. So now he's thinking about coming down over here, something like that. Okay. So if I take, he takes. I can't take because my bishop is there. I mean, because his bishop is looking. I feel like I might need to do this. If I do this, and he sacks, takes, or takes even, that could potentially be dangerous-ish. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm just not liking what I'm seeing right now. And okay, so he does sack like I thought he might. If I take, he takes. I mean, he's still not technically really threatening anything serious, so I'm just going to go for it. And I think I'm okay. I think I can. Yeah, so I feel like in my videos about puzzles, I feel like what he just did was that, right? So now he's got 1, 2, 1, 2. I've got 1, 2 defenders. But if he comes, he can't come here. He can come here, but there's not really a lot he can do right now. So I'm actually gonna go here. This knight is technically only guarding here, but he's not guarding anything else. And now if he wants to try to walk his queen around somewhere, I can actually take a pawn, which threatens, his whatever this is called, his rook. So, okay, that's a good move. I mean, basically just putting me right back where I was now at this point. So, an idea, okay? We want to talk about like crazy ideas. He takes my queen. I take his queen. What happens then? I just want a pawn. But if I take and he just simply takes back, I just sacrificed a piece for no reason. Yeah, so that's not a good idea. Let's just go ahead and go right back. Let's just play principled and not do stupid stuff, yeah? So I'm down 2 minutes, and I'm not going to fall for that one. It's just, I'm not going to do that one today. Now I could go here, and if he takes, and I take, the queen could technically come here and give me a check, and then, let's do this. So now I'm threatening to take, and if he takes my knight, if he takes my bishop, if he takes my bishop, I'm actually seriously contemplating this move. And then when he pushes this pawn, I'll take back with my king. No. I'm not going to take here. If he takes, he does, okay? I take back. This is not a check. That is a blundered queen. I also now have this. I just don't want a tree to fall on me. If this video ends abruptly, there's just a really good chance that I'm not alive anymore. But all right. Now I need to be careful. I mean, actually, my knight is protected. And actually, this is not a check, but it is a free pawn if I took it now. I could take here and just opening it up. That doesn't really do anything. So maybe a better move is actually something like I get my queen here, but then he's going to push. And then I've just kind of lost my, you know, So now he's trying to threaten me twice. But what if I now come here? This is actually better because, all right, if this, that's mate. If this, then that. If this, then that, or just then that. He'll have to deal with his queen. That's a better move. Okay, so now I take. He takes with his queen. If he takes with his pawn, I'll be shocked. Maybe. Will I be shocked? I don't know. There's also a chance he's just going to take here first. So this is really interesting. We have a very interesting situation on our hands, don't we? Now I'm thinking about a move like this so that when his queen, he has no checks. This is no check. There's no checks here. So what if I pull my bishop? I always call him a bishop. Let's do this. I'm gonna do that because I'm actually a little bit afraid he's trying to, take this guy off the board. Okay, and now I'm gonna try to bring some more pieces into the game. All right, so his queen's kind of gridlocked. This is sort of the beauty of the English right now. I got 3.5 minutes, so I do need to make sure that I'm not playing like absolutely stupid. Okay. So he wants to trade queens. We trade queens. This is really interesting now. Things have become interesting. I'm gonna probably put my other pawn here. I don't know what that does, honestly. Let's do this and then maybe this. Try a little pawn break. All right, so now this is where I talked about, like, making sure my pawns are in good position. If he pushes, I might just try to push, because if I take, what do I gain? Well, you know what I do gain? If I take, he takes, I take. That opens up a file. If I push, he takes, I take. I don't like that. I'm going to push this pawn. And if he just pushes, then we're about to be gridlocked. Okay. So, very interesting. Okay, so now he's thinking about this. I am going to offer a trade because actually this will now give me a better position than I can't guard 2 pawns at once. So I'm thinking about my pawns. All right, this will give him a pass pawn. Is this right? I go here. He gets a pass pawn. I come back around. It's too slow for him. It's just too slow. So, okay. All right. Now I am thinking about what if I did this? Sack, he takes. I try to push 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, now he can just get there with his rook. All right. Where's he trying to go right now? Where's he trying to go? I don't know. Maybe this is the move. Hmm. All right, I got a minute 53. What's the play? If I push here, he takes. I do create a pass pawn. If he doesn't take, I push and I have a pass pawn. So this has all come down to exactly what we just talked about, which was, pass pawns. So he can actually win this pawn, but I could win this pawn, and then he has a pass pawn. I need to get back in time. He can push here. I here. That's going to be really tricky. It's going to be hard to defend that. Yeah, this is going to be really hard to defend. Because now, he can give me a check. Yeah. And really, let's think about this. If I go here, and then he gives me another check, I could climb up. I could walk back up. Maybe that's the route. I don't think I want to get trapped in this corner over here. So, if he pushes, all right, let's think about this. Let's think about this. If I give him a check right now, he moves here. I can't even move anywhere. I could go here to here. This is lost, right? I'm like totally lost. But I have to buy time at this point. All right. We are technically even. I'm in a really, really bad situation here. All right. I think I'm going to try to just do like a little push right here and then see if I can't get a push pawn before him. I'm 1, 2, 3 moves away. But he is... I just sacrificed a knight. Okay. I cannot stay there. All right. I can't stay there. That will get me into muy calientes of trouble. All right. I have 33 seconds. He has 2 minutes and 12 seconds. This game is down to the end game. And though I thought about my pawns, thinking about them is just not enough. I honestly don't know why he hasn't already just promoted here. This is a little bit bizarre to me. Stink. All right, so the good news is I still have my my knight. The bad news is he's kind of trapped, you know? I could win a pawn. I could have won a pawn. Now he's going to push, and now I take the other pawn. I'm a little surprised still. Again, he could have just... now he can't necessarily because of my king. This will be a really interesting one to review. That's for sure. This is getting very interesting at this point. All right, he's got. This is. Come on, bruh. Oh no. Okay, good game. Oh, I got a queen just so that he could take my queen with his queen that he made. Good game. Good game. Good game. I hate you. Just kidding. I had a brilliant move, guys. That's good job. That's because of all of my puzzles. I lost, but I had a brilliant move. All right, I'm gonna review this game, and I want you to subscribe, please. If you haven't subscribed, I want you to follow along, and see, how this goes and how high I can climb. I've been hovering around 1300 for going on what, a week now, maybe 2 weeks. We played pretty similarly. I mean, 66% against his 69%. I played like a 900 rated player. He played like an 1100 rated player. You know what happens. It's okay. All right. So this is only my second time, by the way, playing the English opening on here, and this was a mistake. I went with my gut, and my gut lied to me. So that's okay. I should have taken there, because this is what I was worried about though. Oh no, I wasn't worried about that. I was worried when I later on it would have been a fork, because my when this guy was here, that's when I was worried about it. All right, so this whole time it wanted me to take that still. All right, so some good moves, some bad moves. I'm plus 2.3 here in the analysis bar. So even though it came down to the end game exactly like I kind of predicted, that's where I should have taken. Okay, so let's look at the pawns here. This it wants me to take, because let's see, if I take, he takes. But then what? I go here. He gives me like a check maybe. Okay, he goes back up here. And then here. And then this. And then this. So apparently this would have been a better position by like 3.22. All right, so here's where I'm at. I didn't take, I pushed, and that dropped me down to 2.5. I'm still up though, 2.5 in the analysis bar, and it wanted me to take away from this way, because if he pushes, I have a pawn break. If he takes, I have a pawn break here. Because look, that's a pass pawn. And that would have been great. So let's look at this pattern. Okay, while I've got two right here, I got one up here, and so to take in, because then what if he would have taken in like that? Well, then I wouldn't have had a pawn break. I mean, I wouldn't have had a pass pawn, because then this, and then this. So I feel like it's just like such a crapshoot with which pawn to take. It did like that I did that. It did not like at this point. There it is. That was my bad maneuver, guys. I went from being up 3.5 points here to there, and instead I should have moved my king. He moves his king. I move here. He moves here. Okay, I put my knight here. He gives me a check. He goes here. I go here with a check. He comes here. I go here. He pushes. I don't know. Okay. This is really interesting stuff. So that move alone. And now, what do we learn from this? How can we... My pawn structure is good. I mean, that's not great, but these these guys are good, and then all of a sudden I should have walked my other pieces away. So this is exactly what I said in my intro. I'm losing because of pawns. I mean, this is literally, it came down to pawns. That was just a really, really poor move, and I should have gone up there. So here I'm down a point and a half. When he pushes, I give him a check. He deals with it. I go here. This. And then he can't really, I mean, he can't really do anything here because that's just going to be, he'll lose a piece. So pretty instructive. Honestly, I don't really know that I would say I've learned by this. Like, all I know is that it's like revealing a problem to me, the ongoing problem of my pawns, that I need to structure a little bit better and move with better purpose. And so I love when you guys comment. Lots of awesome coaching. Y'all should all check out the comments. So many good comments on these videos. Coaching, giving us tips. Give us some tips, everyone, on the comment section for, you know, how to play these end games with the pawns. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.